Hello again, and it is BoldlyGovember. I'm making an extra video today because I feel guilty for dropping the ball on BoldlyGovember. I blame a ton of outside forces, and none of them are me. So, I have a special treat for you. This is the Sunday night movie matinee. Um, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a short story. A short story. A short story. This is called A Trekkie's Tale. It first appeared in 1974 in a zine called The Menagerie, number 2. That means the second issue. It was originally credited to Anonymous, but then Anonymous destroyed everyone's bank account and stuff. So the author finally came out and said, "No, it was I, zine goddess Paula Smith." And this was kind of a parody, but this is the story that coined the phrase Mary Sue. Like if you've ever heard someone talk about, "Oh, that's a Mary Sue," or effing Mary Sue, or a website called The Mary Sue, things like that. So let's get into this. I'm going to stick my entire hand inside of me and try to grip my inner thespian. So here we go. It's like an audiobook. A Trekkie's Tale by Paula Smith. "Gee golly gosh glorsky," thought Mary Sue as she stepped on the bridge of the Enterprise. "Here I am, the longest. This is why I don't do audiobooks. Here I am, the youngest lieutenant in the fleet, only 15.5 years old." Then Captain Kirk came up to her. I'm going to try not to add words into this, by the way. Captain Kirk came up to her. "Oh, Lieutenant, I love you madly. Will you come to bed with me?" "Captain, I am not that kind of girl." "You're right, and I respect you for it. Here, take over the ship for a minute while I go get some coffee for us." Mr. Spock came onto the bridge. "What are you doing in the apparently Worf came in as well. I'm just kidding. Okay. "What are you doing in the command seat, Lieutenant?" "The captain told me to." "Flawlessly logical. I admire your mind." Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Scott beamed down with Lieutenant Mary Sue to Rigel 37. They were attacked by green androids and thrown into prison. In a moment of weakness, Lieutenant Mary Sue revealed to Mr. Spock that she too was half Vulcan. Recovering quickly, she sprung the lock with her hairpin, and they all got away back to the ship. But back on board, Dr. McCoy and Lieutenant Mary Sue found out that the men who had beamed down were seriously stricken by the jumping cold Robbies. Mary Sue less so. While the 4 officers languished in sickbay, Lieutenant Mary Sue ran the ship, and ran it so well she received the Nobel Peace Prize, the Vulcan Order of Gallantry, and the Tralfamadorian Order of Good Guyhood. However, the disease finally got to her, and she fell fatally ill. In the sick bay, as she breathed her last, she was surrounded by Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Scott, all weeping unashamedly at the loss of her beautiful youth and youthful beauty, intelligence, capability, and all around niceness. Even to this day, her birthday is a national holiday of the Enterprise. So, that was some fanfic from the 70s and a parody with someone named Mary Sue, who ended up becoming a cultural icon with no one really knowing that she was from Star Trek. You're welcome.